All right, it's time for slide 3. Let's begin to answer these two questions and then put at least 2 pictures. What can this natural hazard do to communities? Well, let's look it up. I showed you how to look it up on Google. Now we're going to look it up using one of the links that I gave you in the slideshow. So let's go do that. All right, so here's the slideshow. The link that we should use is either this one or this one. We're going to try this one. And what happens if we click on that is we go here. And we have a little search bar right here. And I can type in what I'm looking for. So I'm just going to type in volcanic eruptions. And we want to see if we can learn about what happens to communities. And oddly enough, the only link that pops up, the only one that pops up is actually perfect. So I go ahead and I click on that. And then I scroll down. And what happened was I actually started reading this. And then I realized my scroll bar over here is actually very small. So that means that this is a really long article. I was reading for a while, and then I was like, wait a minute. This isn't even getting to volcanoes yet. And now we're getting to refugees. And now we're getting to something. So what I did was I just pressed Control F. It popped up a little search bar, or it should. And then I just typed in volcano. Not volcano. Volcano. And well, it worked last time. Volcanic, maybe. All right, and then I got the exact paragraph that was useful. And it talks about 2 volcanoes, one that happened in AD 79, forcing surviving residents of the towns of Pompeii and Herculaneum to become refugees. I can't say the word, so I mumbled it. Toxic volcanic ash. This is stuff I could actually use. So toxic volcanic ash, and I don't know how to say that word, stone, entirely buried the towns. Residents of the towns had to find shelter and work elsewhere in the Roman Empire. And then it talks about how another volcano in January 2010, magnitude 7, which remember the highest magnitude measured is an 8, so a very large volcano. Magnitude 7.0 earthquake, so completely different. Devastated the Haitian capital of Port-au-Prince. Many of the city's residents became IDPs. It must explain what that is earlier, and fled to other parts of the country. So I can use this paragraph to answer my question. Let's go do that. What can this natural hazard do to communities? Well, it covers them covers the community. So toxic volcanic ash and stone entirely buried the towns. So I can say in some cases, toxic volcanic ash and stone can, I should actually type stone can entirely bury, and stone can entirely bury a town. This forces the people to become refugees and seek shelter elsewhere. This is pretty sad, but it has happened. So it's good to know about this and good to think about this before a volcano erupts. What would happen if a volcanic eruption happens? So we got that, and we can go ahead and get some pictures. Some pictures of volcanic ash. So this is kind of a weird picture. I don't believe that. I would wonder if that was photoshopped whenever I see a picture like that. But I'm going to use it for now, because there are actually active volcanoes in Hawaii. And I would hope that those people were at a safer distance than they look like they are. And then what should people do to say, and obviously you can put in different pictures of actual towns that have been hit by volcanic ash. But the picture is mainly there so that when you're the speaker, you can talk about it. What should people do to stay safe? Well, let's go ahead and go. Well, it's pretty obvious. They should look for. They should leave the area if an eruption is predicted or consider living farther from a known volcano if they can. People live where they're able to live. They can't always live in their first choice location, but if they can, they should. And they should live where they are safe. Okay, so what else? Well, obviously we only have one picture here. Let's get another picture. This is a research project, so I went ahead and I Googled it just to see if there were some suggestions. And actually, ready.gov has some interesting suggestions. .gov is a domain that is generally back-checked, so I tend to trust it. Listen for emergency information and alerts. Follow evacuation or shelter. So I could actually put these bullet points over there, and I think I will. All right, so reading through these actually are well laid out, specific instructions for what to do in case of a volcanic eruption. And then also, I found a picture. Let me see if I can find it again. Over here on images, and it actually literally lists some ideas. So I can take that picture. I click on it and make it bigger, because actually the picture will have, it'll be a larger size. It'll be more, what do you say, in focus if you do that. But then I shrink it anyway, so I don't know if it really matters. But some good ideas for what to do. And there's a nice little, there's a well-made picture with it. So yeah, so that makes it more visually interesting to look at the slide for your listener. Let's go. Oh, that's how you do slide 3. Great job.